Tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride. Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebona DFM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your morning inspired, be informed, let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Efanshuku, aka Meta,
and Christy, aka Emenari, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 Ebona DFM. Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 15th day of December 2023. Today is Friday, and the time is a minute past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we're going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership newspaper, Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, The Nation, This Day, and Sun. And if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Tinubu urges Nigerians to have faith in the country. CBN assures Nigerians of better inflation exchange rates in 2024. Joins Supreme Court to uphold rule of law. Sanwo-Olu urges stakeholders. Oborowori celebrates Ndoka Erabo at 65. Tragedy as overhead water tank collapses, kill 9-day-old baby mother in Ondo. As Fubara signs budget, 5 commissioners resigns. Pro-Wike lawmakers passes bills. As Fubara signs budget, 5 commissioners resign. Pro-Wike lawmakers pass bills. Nigeria emerges best in multi-choice talent factory. Tinubu, Abiodun, others bid Chris Ogumbajo farewell. Intrigues over Akeledoru's ill health unnecessary distraction, says Ayedatiwa. Arewa youths challenge Sanwo-Olu on marginalization of Northerners. JAMB says certificate not guarantee for jobs. Economic Kiamo sacks director of aviation agencies. Ogun begins a reuse agenda for waste reduction. 10 killed as Navy rescue abducted monarch in Cross River. Nasetema urges increase funding of R&D institutes. Hearing impaired persons beg Taraba government for support. FCT anniversary, Oloja. Others insist on mayoral position for Abuja. NAFDAC's Yaba Drug Laboratory gets World Health Organization pre-qualification. Abiodun Sanwo-Olu Lord Unilever Nigeria on centenary anniversary. NGF 6 thorough probe into Tudum Biri bombing. Bini monarch, YB, Belgian envoy, 6 synergy in fight against human trafficking. Lagos to subsidize pharmaceutical list of Kanu today. Jumia ends food delivery in Nigeria. Other African countries, December 31st. Federal government false war fuel subsidy is gone. EFCC arraigns man for alleged issuance of dot check. Network Against Corruption says plight of vulnerable Nigerians must be addressed irrespective of religion, tribe, others. Police in Lagos caution hoodlums, pledge to uphold justice. 80% of Nigerians patronize herbal medicine, says MTMPN. Exemption of varsities from IPPIS to address brain drain. We will build more resettlement cities for internally displaced persons. Federal government assures. Stakeholders chart path to safer roads. Nigerians free to video photograph officers on duty. Police. Nigerians free to video photograph officers on duty. Police. LCAN ends coaching week in Lagos. 5 emerge top stories in Abebi Awards. Kanu agrees 3 billion naira compensation for demolished shop owners. Bank robbery. Ekiti government. Police vow to fish out perpetrators. Police in Ogun arrest 2 over car theft. Demolition. Lagos used to please gives property owners options to re-establish setbacks. ALX wins Social Innovation Award at Lagos Technology Summit. Delta to participate in Kokori's funeral arrangements, says Oborowori. Cross River records 275 incidents of gender-based violence in 11 months. Bayelsa-born brain boss emerged world second-best student in SAT. Lagos paid 4.2 billion fees in 4 years. Sanwo-Olu. National Assembly support helping me to transform economy, says Tinubu. National Assembly support helping me to transform economy, says Tinubu. CBN assures Nigerians of decline in inflation exchange rates in 2024. Winners emerge in Abebi Award non-fiction competition. IDF condemns Ikere Bank robbery, urges federal state governments to beef up security. Peaceful conduct of Kogi Guba poll reflects Ododo's accessibility, says BC Akande. Delta Assembly passes 2024 appropriation bill of 724.9 billion naira. LCAN wraps 5th African Coaching Week with grand finale in 2 new housing estates. Woman who assaulted stepdaughter will be prosecuted. Commissioner. Tinubu sacks FAAN, NAMA, NIMET DGs, others. Para government approves conversion Para State University Teaching Hospital. APC forced Fubara's budget presentation to 4 Rivers lawmakers. Trade Ministry debunks a report of 1 billion naira budget for Geneva trip. Do not kill yourself on the job. Lagos Chief Justice advises judges. Umahi proposes increase from 657 billion naira to 1.5 trillion naira in Ministry of Works 2024 budget. Para government greenlights teaching hospital to support medical education. Fubara bears fangs, demolishes assembly complex, presents 2024 budget to 4 lawmakers. U.S. lawmaker urges unconditional release of Kanu. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Supreme Court decides Kalu's fate today. Court dismisses businessman's 50 million naira suit against Assistant Inspector General of Police Interpol. Others. Yobe postpones threats of recall. Ultimatum to apologize. Laughable. Abase. APC may lose power in 2027. Lukman. Earlier, threats of recall we've taken this. AYCF wants inclusion of Northerners in Lagos government. Women in military shouldn't beg for recognition, says Irabo. Federal government will launch national workplace policy on HIV/AIDS. Journalists asked to hold political leaders accountable. Federal government tax civil servants on accountability. Group opposes politicizing Tudun Biri bombing. Group rejects Turaki's nomination as Sharia Court of Appeal judge. Group rejects Turaki's nomination as Sharia Court of Appeal judge. Ododo's acceptability reflects peaceful Kogi polls. BC Akande. 6 justices dragged to NJC over Bronu's Senate seat case. Zulum inaugurates 10.9 billion naira roads in Meduguri. Lawmaker Lambas Soludo for administering councils through caretaker committee. Kebi presents official cars to commissioners. Bauchi pledges to sustain USAID partnership for healthcare delivery. I will support Chaibu if Obaseki. Sokoto Finance Commissioner sponsors 50 girls education. Carbon inducts 420 registered builders, announces competition. University of Lagos Vice Chancellor promises reinstatement of Students' Union. Haaland battles Messi, Mbappe for FIFA Men's Best 2023. Player agent fees hit record $888 million, says FIFA. NBA roundup. Antetokounmpo scores box record 64. Tottenham eye new centre back. Climate change. Stakeholders urge farmers to embrace digital solution. FA clears Arteta over VAR rant in Newcastle defeat. National Assembly to sanction ministers for shunning budget defense. 4 Hamas suspects arrested in Europe over terrorism plot. We will work together, Tinubu tells Senate. Super Eagles ready to challenge for 2023 AFCON title. National Assembly applauds PTAD's effort, urges more stakeholders engagement. Julius Vega donates shares, decks to Abuja School. FIFA assigns 30 Nigerian referees for international duties in 2024. AFCON 2023, CAF launches over the counter ticket sales. AFCON 2023, CAF launches over the counter ticket sales. MPFL, Niger Tornadoes coach Abraham Lulu wants Nigerians to key into Fosler Academy. I will make Nigeria export hub. Tinubu. How we rescued core members in Zamfara, NYSC. Niger, ECOWAS list condition for lifting sanction. NOC sets a Paris Olympics target for administrators, athletes. Top FX Golf Tourney 2023 tees off December 16th at IBB Club. OPEC keeps 2.2 million barrels per day oil demand growth forecast for 2024. Caverton expands aviation training facilities, unveils new AW109 simulator. Shell Nigeria Gas empowers 150 youths on enterprise development. Shell Nigeria Gas empowers 150 youths on enterprise development. CBN promises to tackle inflation, exchange rate problem next year. Federal government to roll out policy framework over cadets' sea time challenges. 115 internet service providers connect 213,876 Nigerians in September. Lagos Free Zone positioned to attract investment from USA. Nigerians non-oil exports. AMCON recovers 1.8 trillion naira, targets over 70 billion naira profit. We are transforming Nigeria with National Assembly support. Tinubu. Foundation donates learning materials in 10 Kaduna schools. Update: 6 pro-Wike commissioners resigns from Fubara cabinet. 4 suspected members of Hamas arrested in Europe over alleged terrorism plot. Army arrests IPOB, ESN commander, recovers weapons in Enugu. NGX market capitalization rises by 85 billion naira. Banking stocks lead gainers. No deal without Bazoum, ECOWAS tells Niger junta. Rivers APC says considering impeaching Fubara, wooing Wike. Lagos community gets a public water supply after 25 years. Group condemns Ikere Ekiti bank robbery. Minister for shunning budget defense. Federal government boost wheat farming in Bauchi with 1,400 hectares of land. Makinde presents staff of office to new Ashenyi. Still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. Rivers, Bode George urges swift resolution, says crisis can spread nationwide. Family buries 2-year-old boy killed by National Drug Law Enforcement Agency stray bullet in Delta. Delta Assembly passes 725 billion naira 2024 appropriation bill. We will tackle inflation, exchange rate challenge next year, CBN. We will tackle inflation, exchange rate challenge next year, CBN. Demolition. Kanu government agrees to pay ground shop owners 3 billion naira compensation. Haaland battles Messi, Mbappe for FIFA's Men Best 2023. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. And from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Rivers lawmaker denies returning to PDP. Bayelsa coastal dwellers seek laws to protect marine environment. Edo rep pays 10,000 indigent students WAEC fees. Oborowori's aide lost journalists on professionalism. Nigeria, second highest contributor to $26 billion cigarette butt pollution report. Nigeria, second highest contributor to $26 billion cigarette. Akpabio allegedly slumps after birthday colloquium. Onasanya, Ogun dry port will create 40,000 jobs. Commissioner. Obaseki delivers University of Benin 296 inaugural lecture. Niger gets $25,000 South Korea grants for water projects. Delta local government gives Okere Urobo ultimatum to resolve youth leadership crisis. Lagos esports gamers attempt world record. Akwa Ibom Christmas Carol coordinator urges Eno to sustain festival. Delta Eichmann group queries appointment of management team. Flooding. Lagos state government meet property owners, review planned demolition. Controversies. Events that shaped entertainment industry in 2023. Ex-president, 79 suspects detained over failed Sierra Leone coup. Edo poll. PDP National Working Committee meets Obaseki. Aspirants urges unity. Lagos pays 4.2 billion naira WAEC fees in 4 years. Sanwo-Olu. Throwing traders in Black Maria humiliating market leader. Fola Adeola. Others make Tinubu's ambassadorial list. Lego icon Mwabese for burial march. Benue government knocks rep for removing alias portrait. Tinubu, Abiodun, others bid Chris Ugumbanjo farewell. Makinde presents staff to Asheyin for prize. Reject World Bank 750 naira litre proposal. NLC wants federal government. Connect to Public Water Corporation urges communities. Foreign students with low grades risk deportation. UK. Green Spring teacher wins $6,250,000. Green Spring teacher wins $6,250 scholarship. Six Rivers Commissioner resign. Assembly faction holds parallel sitting. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. And from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Akpabio, in God's will for me, I will succeed with him, Tinubu. Hazard University Foundation School shows off facilities as admission begins. Anambra ex-governor Chukwuemeka Ezife is dead. Lagos government paid 4.2 billion naira WAEC fees in 4 years. Sanwo-Olu. Census. National Population Commission flags off NDHS exercise in Akwa Ibom. Wike versus Fubara. 2 more Rivers commissioners resign. Makinde presents staff of office to new Acheyin of Isheyin. Para repositioning energy sector commissioner. Hostile succession bane of development in Ogun. Ex-Nigerian High Commissioner. Stop parading yourself as Petroleum Minister. Falana to Tinubu. Tinubu gives states 9 billion naira each for infrastructure. Somalia 6 Wike. FCTA's support to build Mogadishu. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Ex-Anambra governor Ezife dies at 85. Reps seek skills transfer from foreign companies. Jigawa identifies 240 ghost workers among the strikes as Israel onslaught in Gaza continues. Oba of Benin, Belgian envoy, unite in fight. We've taken this. War without end in rivers. COP28, Aurel Lopo, Adefrire, UNDP, European Union push for acceleration through INFF. Ayedatiwa assumes office as acting governor. VC's committee, National Assembly, National Association of Nigerian Students, Lord Tinubu for removing tertiary institutions from IPPIS. Vice Chancellor's Committee, National Association of Nigerian Students, Lord Tinubu for removing tertiary institutions from IPPIS. Drainage setbacks. Lagos government gives property owners in Lekki, Ajiran, Agungi, soft landing. Well, funeral rites for Pa Igbonacho starts today. Bronu Senate seat, 6 justices dragged to NJC over misconduct. Anxiety in Southeast over Kanu as Supreme Court rules today. Insecurity, Tinubu, Akpabio, Agbakoba, Abbas, profile solutions. Uzodinma cautions against politicizing Kaduna bombing error. Kidnapped core members, NYSC denies paying rescue victims. Tudum Biri bombing, NGF, Zazua Emir, ex-Vice President Sambo urge thorough, timely investigations. Affected senior military officers to step aside. Northern Group. Ikere Bank robbery. IDF condemns attack, urges federal government, Ekiti government to beef up security. 2 police teams exchange fire over illicit drugs. Subsidy. Lagos introduces health palliative for residents. FCT Water Board projects 500 million naira monthly revenue in 2024. Senate okays BPE's 2.432 billion naira budget, vows to clamp down on defaulting firms. Insecurity. Tinubu, Akpabio, Agbakoba, Abbas, we've taken this. Reps to institutionalize youth leadership program. Abbas. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. And from the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Crisis. 6 commissioners resigns from Fubara's government. From Lagos slum to Napoli sensation. Amazing rise of Oshime, Africa's soccer king. Tinubu, Abiodun, Anyoko, Ayo Adebanjo, others bid Ugubanjo farewell. CBN directs banks to raise financial products quality. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we'll come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Idemili Unity Cup, ọ ga-adịkwa egwu. Ndị Love Bright Foods and Beverages Limited Nnobi na-ekpokọba asọmpi egwuregwu bọọlụ ga-adị n'etiti obodo 17 dị na Idemili North and South Local Government Area, Anambra State. Obodo ndị a ga-aga debanye aha n'aka ndị na-ekpokọba nyaba asọmpi n'efu. Ha ga-ewere fọm n'isi ụlọ ọrụ ndị Love Bright Foods nke dị na Nnobi ma wechighata ya opekata mpe ụbọchị ọnwa Disemba ga-adị na mkpụrụ ụbọchị 20. A ga-enye obodo ọbụla ga-esonye na asọmpi a ego dị 200,000 naira iji wee kwado nke ọma. Ihe nrite nke mbụ 2 million naira, ihe nrite nke abụọ 1 million naira. naira. Nke atọ 500,000 naira. Ọ ga-akpọtụ na Central School Field Ụmụrụnnobi malite na 24th wee rute 31st December 2023 dịrịkwa na 1st January 2024. A ga-ekwupụtakwazi ihe ndị ọzọ gbasara asọmpi a n'ọdịnihu. Mgbakpọ ekwentị a 07033885566. Onye binyere aka n'ọkwa bụ Mr. Christian Abajuo, Head of Marketing and Brand Development, Love Bite Fruits Limited Nnobi. Love Bite Family Fiesta Chidestino Events and Media na-akpọ ezinụlọ niile ka ha bịa sonye n'emume nke akpọrọ Love Bite Family Fiesta. Ọ bụ ebe ezinụlọ dị iche iche ma mama, papa, ụmụaka ga-agbakọnata wee nwekọ aṅụrị ọnụ. A ga-enwe ọtụtụ ihe nkiri, a ga-enwekwa ọtụtụ egwuregwu ma mama, papa, ụmụaka ga-agbakọnata wee nwekọ aṅụrị ọnụ. A ga-enwe ọtụtụ ihe nkiri, a ga-enwekwa ọtụtụ egwuregwu, a ga-enwekwa asọmpi ịgba egwu. Mickey Mouse na burumburu ya ga-anọ live, tinyekwara ndị comedian. Ekwena ka ịnụ nke a n'akụkọ, bịa gbara anya gị ekeresimesi. Ebugharịzi ya ka ọ dịbe na Wednesday bụ 20th December 2023 n'elekere 10 nke ụtụtụ kpọmkwem na Sharon Hall dị na GRA Onitsha na nchapụ DMGS Roundabout Ọka Road Onitsha. Nelson White bụ onye na-ekpokọba emume a. Kpọọ ekwentị a 0803-248-2101. Love Bite Fruits and Beverages Limited Nnobi na-akwado emume a n'ụzọ pụrụ iche. Love Bite Family Fiesta. Kpọrọ ezinụlọ gị bịa baa.
Crossover Night 2023 nkwadobe maka ịgafe n'afọ ọhụụ. Ndị ụlọ ekpere Tabernacle of Praise and Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi na-ewetara gị Crossover Night 2023 bụ nke ha kpọrọ Night of Taking Over. Abalị ga-adị ebube, abalị iweghara ikikere anyị ga-eji meribiga oke n'afọ 2024. Isiokwu ya bụ Crossing the Red Sea, ịgafe osimiri uhie. Ọ ga-adị n'abalị 31 nke ọnwa Disemba n'afọ 2023. Ọ ga-amalite n'elekere 8 nke abalị kpọmkwem n'ụlọ ekpere Tabernacle of Praise and Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi Anukwu n'ime steeti Anambra. Onye ga-ele ọbịa bụ Apostle Dr. John Oka JP. Ọ ga-abụ ngedegwu, ọ ga-abụ ọpụrụ iche, ọ ga-abụ ụwa bịa kirie maka na ndị ga-eji egwu wee kụba anyị n'afọ ọhụụ bụ Ambassador Dr. James Arum Ebubedike nakwa Evangelist Abraham Edozie nwa mgbe nta. Abalị dị ebube, abalị nnara ike, abalị ga-ejupụta n'ọṅụ na otite mmanụ. Kpọrọ ndị ezinụlọ gị na ndị enyi gị bịa sonye n'ọgbakọ ekpere abalị a. Eluigwe aghaghị ikwu okwu ọma n'isi gị. Jizọs bụ eze.
Mgbe maka disbo ya na-akpọ enyi dada na-enye nsogbu.
Ebe ọ na-adị 103.5 FM na Bakuwa Production. For police, for vigilante. My business. When I will tell you, SJ radio drama, Erico. Erico Ramama. Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Now, everyone at 103.5 FM.
If you move and finish your business, yeah.
Amara m ibe nwa dịrị ahụ ụbọchị m na-aga n'obodo m na-anụ akụ na ya na-erikọ n'anya nke ka dịkwu nke bụ na ana m ahụzụ n'anya ma ọ bụrụ eziokwu.
Ekwekwala ka akọ ndị nke a kọrọ. A lot of people complain about not using their talents the way they want to. Utilize this opportunity today. Are you an aspiring actor, musician, dancer? Here is the opportunity you have been waiting for. Register with Babuwa Productions at everyone at the 103.5 FM today to make your God-given gift money-making venture using your God-given gift today. For more information, call 08039167049. Don't miss out on this opportunity.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to the Nation newspaper. Tinubu, Abiodun, Anyoko, Ayo, Adebanjo, others bid Ogubanjo farewell. CBN directs banks to raise financial products quality. APCON recovers 1.8 trillion naira, sustains profitability, says MD. NGF, ex-Vice President Sambo. Emir seek thorough probe of Tudun Biri error bombings. We must address challenges facing our agenda, First Lady tells women groups. Kiamu to sack aviation agencies' heads, hand over to most senior officers. Parents, vice chancellors, students laud exemption of tertiary institutions from IPPIS. Fear of sit-at-home in Southeast over Supreme Court verdict on Kanu. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Slim allocation threatens Edo, Ondo governorship polls. Others, says INEC. And Niger Delta Development Commission owing contractors 50 billion naira. Minister tells National Assembly. Tinubu, we are working with lawmakers to fix economy. I am for peace. Ayedatiwa declares after resumption. Minister inaugurates senior citizens fair. Presidency, UNDP, European Union, unite for acceleration of climate action plan. Africa donates $500,000 to boost health infrastructure. Anambra lawmakers repeal law establishing state newspaper. Federal civil service to attain full digitization by 2025, says Yemi Eshan. Prepare for challenges of information tells Nigerians. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. And from the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. But assigns 800 billion naira budget into law. Tinubu, having Akpabio, Abbas at my side as National Assembly leaders enough to make me succeed. AMCON recovers over 1.8 trillion naira, says it remains profitable year on year. Adelabu, Nigeria's power sector policies obsolete, need reworking. Federal government vows to award oil access to only companies, rates to decline in 2024. New NCDMB boss, Ogbe, assumes office, pledges to recertify agency's performance. Alice, venture capital firms must weed out discriminatory patterns, support women-owned businesses, addressing challenges in Nigeria's aviation industry. Nimet calls for synergy to tackle climate change impact. Ethiopian Aviation Varsity graduates over 600 professionals. FAAN assures Nigerians of good travel experience at Yeltide. Air Peace wins best airline for customer service. Investors in stock market gain 41.37% YTD. Ayedatiwa addresses Ondo, seeks to build shared future from divided past. Politicians' presence at Western Delta Varsity's convocation. Jiang. Supreme Court will do justice to Plateau PDP Congress issues. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. From this day, newspaper will flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Reps tax Chinese business community on robust FDI technology, skill transfer. National Assembly support helping my reform agenda to succeed. Tinubu, Kaduna bombing. Ex-Vice President Sambo, Emir of Zazua, call for immediate probe. Federal government to power sector players. We will wield the big stick if hostile succession hindering development in Ogun. Ambassador Sarafa Tunji Isola. We will continue to partner UNICEF, UNDP, others in 2024. Soludo Olubumi Kuku succeeds Kabia Yusuf as FAAN boss. COP28. Nigerian government wants climate action plan accelerated. Partnership key to transforming civil services. Federal government. Removal of universities from IPIS. Perfect move to tackle brain drain. Arubofa. Reps to institutionalize youth leadership programs. Speaker Abbas. KWASSIP, Kwara supports 360 startups with 229.5 million naira revolving loan. Federal government to release a policy program addressing seafarers. That's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines. We will now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you more reactions. Now, from our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Honorable Obasi, aka Authority is More Than Power. And he says, issue of soldiers arresting IPOB commander and the other 4 members is not the best. And my advice is this, that Enugu state government and Nigeria should look into the problem of indigenous people of Biafra, because from my own indication, arresting IPOB member or their commander will not solve the problem of insecurity in Southeast. Rather, it will be worsening it. And he says, issue because you should know the federal government is still holding the Nnamdi Kanu, and you cannot. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. This one is coming from famous Christian and is joining us from Aglozibo, and he says, as Supreme Court decide today, I wish and pray for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. May the soul of the first executive governor of Anambra State, late Chukwuemeka Ezife. This one is coming from Comrade Ibudu from our bag, and he says, I plead with Rivers government to handle the innocent masses with care, because the way things are going, if care is not taken, they might end up fighting themselves without any better for the state. And then he continued and said, they keep promising us inflation, proper arrangements every day. What happened today? Let them do it prompt and stop their fake promises. And he says, human being is never satisfied. Governor Alia is trying for his people, but the embezzlement team want to make him tremble. I urge him to be strong. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this one. This one is coming from Waloto Patrick from Unteje. And he says, for Tinubu to ask Nigerians to have faith in the country is laughable. And at the same time, pitiable, laughable in the sense that the statement will be likened to a drowning person who holds grip of any straw in order to survive. Is equally pitiable in the sense that Nigerians are going to suffer under Tinubu's continue to go in this direction. All these things happening are serious indications that the president is clueless to both the economic and socio-political problems in this country. I equally want to believe that Jam is eminently correct by saying that certificates are not guaranteed for job, but the fact remains that the government will create an enabling environment for the students to become employers of labor after school and not opposite. But the way things are going in this country, Nigerian students are at the mercy of white-collar job after school, which is nowhere to be found. May the soul of the former Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuemeka Ezife, and the souls of our other departed faithfuls rest in peace. This one is coming from Waloto Patrick from Nteje. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This one is coming from Valentine Edene from Umpo. Kidnapping of core members are rising. It's high. It's high time any graduate will serve any place he or she come from, or better still, end the service after graduating in the high institution in Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Valentine Edene from Mumbo. We have this message. This one is coming from Engineer Ebuka Nwabufo from Amawa Obunike, and he says President Tinubu giving state 9 billion naira for contract is not our problem, but what we need is to bring high cost of things down in the country for the people to live. Okay, and he says Nnamdi Kanu should be released today unconditionally by the federal government and Nigeria Bar Association so that there will be peace in the East. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message. This one is coming from Chike Obata from Obineti Tokozo, and he says, yes, as Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is heading to Supreme Court today, let the judges look into the judgment for happy. Okay, for happy. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this one. It's coming from Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson, and he's joining us from 33, and he says, kudos to Ogun State government as their dry port will provide job to 40,000 skilled and unskilled workers. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Aja Black from Udume, and he says they know the reason why they are still holding Kanu in DSS dungeon. It's better they just release the Son of God today with his desire. Okay, thank you so much, Aja from Udume. Now we have this message. This one is coming from Christian Ufondo from Onisha, and he says, Army, dislodge IPOB camp is a fabricated fallacious lie to the pit of hell. One thing that makes me look down on most of Nigeria security is that they do not tell the public exactly what transpired between them. And he says, why did they choose to die in silence? They fabricate stories did not take place at any place within the southeastern region, yet they were proud to showcase their ignorance. And he says, Christian Ufondo continues and says, Supreme Court should release Nnamdi Kanu because Nnamdi Kanu and his followers owe nobody apology. Hence, it is our rightful right. He says the peace and the progress of this country will be determined today by the way the Supreme Court is going to handle today's court proceedings. This case is very fragile. All the potential sense of maturity will be applied to avoid a problem in this country. And he says, do the needful and save the country today from political unrest. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Sunday Ikenna, and he's watching us live from Nnobi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have this message coming from John Ume from Okozo, and he says, the political impasse in Rivers State between Governor Fubara and Wike is reaching an alarming stage. I urge Fubara to use every arsenal within his disposal to neutralize Wike if he knows what it means to be chief executive and chief security officer of a state. Let Fubara ask people like Achike Udemma, Chris Ngige, the magic wand they use that silenced their main political opponents. Truly, as a political bigot, Wike is wielding the powers that he cannot be able to control.